How do you cope with an anniversary when your loved one is no longer here? Hi, welcome back to Linda's Legacy all around the coast. Today I'm going to speak about anniversaries and how I've managed to perhaps cope this week. Also, I had a royal day out at Sandringham here in Norfolk. And then finally, I had a visit yesterday that inspired me beyond belief to the East Anglian Children's Hospice. Absolutely incredible place. I'll talk about that later. So, anniversaries. In the last week, we've reached the point of 4 months since Linda passed away. And as these days approach, obviously I'm counting weeks and months because it just seems right. And as these dates get closer, I find a real tightening in the chest, a worry, intense sadness. And when I try to find something to actually a plan to do on that day, if possible, some way of being able to spend it in a way that I may have, well, I wouldn't be commemorating the day if Linda was still here, would I, obviously, but if there was a special day, we'd always do something together. And I find that the only way I can get through these things is to plan an actual day as if we were together. Even if it's somewhere that's really currently challenging to me, as to somewhere I haven't been since it's just me. And sometimes some of these places where I haven't been able to return to, it's just so difficult. There's so many memories. Every step I take, I can just remember all the things that we did and where we went. But I find that if I just literally just face it head on, come up with a plan, force myself to do it, I get there, I get through it. And then I end up enjoying the day as much as possible. Spend some time thinking of Linda and talking to her, of course, because I do that all the time. When I'm not speaking to you, I'm speaking to Linda. And I think the only way to get through is to make a plan, to try and have the day as if we were still together. And that's helped me anyway. Sometimes the actual thinking of the date coming up is more worrying and more stressful than when you actually get to that date. I've got a birthday approaching, and that's really giving me some issues of what to do and how to commemorate that day. But I'll get there. I'll speak about that next week, hopefully. So last weekend, I took a day out and I decided to go to Sandringham, which is a private residence owned by King Charles III here in Norfolk. And it's where the royal family quite often spend their Christmases. The previous Queen Elizabeth II, she spent, I think, was it 30 Christmases consecutively there. They obviously love the place. And the King has put a lot of effort into really making it visitor friendly, visitor interesting, and putting some personal thought into the displays and everything. And one of the first things that he did when he became king, when he came back to Sandringham, was to work on, well, he didn't, I'm sure, but was to get some work done on the gardens. And they're really incredible. So let's just have a look at my trip to Sandringham. I'm here at Sandringham today, royal residence of King Charles III. He's not home today. And this is the first time I've been here since Linda passed. We last came here on the last day of the season, which I believe was last October. And we've been here many times. It's a wonderful place to walk around and have a look at the gardens, the house, the lake. It's really, really well kept here. So today I thought on the 4-month anniversary of Linda's passing, I'd try and come here. And goodness me, it's difficult. Every step is a reminder of where we've been together. The rhododendrons are coming out, the flowers are coming out, there's bluebells, it's so beautiful. And I'm really conscious that I'm here on my own and that Linda isn't with me today. And that really hurts. But I'll persevere. There's even still some daffodils open. I think it's time to find some lunch. Let's go and explore. Right, a sandwich and a drink at the stables, I think, is called for. And I have to point out their clock is wrong. So I found a nice quiet spot away from all the busyness. And let's see what we've got to eat today. Well, we've got a cheese scone with Baron by God brie, mango, coconut and raspberry loaf cake. Looks really nice. And a latte. Pretty good. And the verdict? Well, let's have a look. Absolutely wonderful. 10 out of 10 to whoever does the catering here at Sandringham. There's several little display rooms in here. We've got the fire engines in this one, which is super cool. Anybody around my age is thinking pew pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble and Grub? Put a note in the comments if that's you. Good old Norfolk number plate as well. And then we come to this rather beautiful machine, the 1914 Daimler, apparently. Yeah, wouldn't mind a trip in that. Great fun. And in the next room, area, whatever, we've got another Daimler. They certainly have some impressive vehicles here. Over this side, a Rolls-Royce Phantom 5. In use from 1961 until 2002. Goodness me. And this one, this is my favourite. This is an Austin Princess Van den Pla. And it was started in 1972. And I actually was in London once, a long, long time ago. And I believe it was in this car that the Queen Mother went past as I was about to cross the road. Obviously, she wasn't driving. And then the final area in this little part of the display of the stables. We've got another Daimler, which is a shooting brake, which is basically a humongous, great big estate car. And this one, this is just amazing. I love the bicycle as well, but look at this. It's a Ford V8 Pilot shooting brake with fishing rods on the top, and oh, that's just so cool. Love it. Okay, that's enough of that. An excellent lunch. Now I'm off to go and see the house. The grounds here in the garden are absolutely magnificent. So well kept. Lovely spots to sit and view all around. And here we are at the upper lake. And it's just stunning views here. The garden staff do such an excellent job. And as we come up this way, we're actually now at the back of the house. So I'll make my way along and hopefully I might be able to get in. Even the sundial's working today. There's enough sun for it to show. That's brilliant. Okay, let's go and find the front of the house and find the way in. Tulips are coming out well. These trees in the sunshine. Absolutely beautiful. I don't know if that's coming out enough, but there we are. And that's where we're going. Let's hope the chap on the door is friendly and lets me in. Well, that was really interesting, actually, to have a look around the house. It's quite different this year from previous times I've been in there, or we've been in there. A lot of personal items from the King on display, and definitely recommend a day out here. Let's go and have a look at the display down this way. And no visit to Sandringham is ever complete without an ice cream. Yum. Time to go home now. Here comes the bus. Number 35, Lynx bus. King's Lynn to Hunstanton. It's been a wonderful day out here. I really recommend if you get a chance, come to Sandringham, have a good look around the grounds, and certainly enjoy their food, particularly the cake. Wonderful. Also, make sure you have an ice cream because they're really good. Anyway, got to go, or this bus will go without me. I caught the bus, it was fine. Yesterday, I had a trip out to the East Anglia Children's Hospice, which is one of the charities that I'm supporting with this project. The other being Tapping House Hospice, which I hope to visit soon. Incidentally, at Tapping House, they've currently got an amazing display going on, Tulips at Tapping, where there are a couple of fields here, many acres, absolutely packed full of tulips of all different colours. And it's all over social media. You can't get tickets anymore. But check out the pictures and the videos. It's a stunning place, and all raising money for a brilliant cause. Anyway, so yesterday, East Anglia Children's Hospice. So I took a trip there to speak about this project and my walk around the coast, and speak about Linda and my inspiration. And that was really great because I love any opportunity to speak about Linda in this project. But I also had a look around the facility, and goodness me, I was so impressed, so inspired. A hospice conjures up images of perhaps where you just go at the end of your days, and somewhere sad and somewhere depressing, somewhere that you don't want to go. this was something else entirely. Yes, there's sadness. Yes, there's the end of people's lives and its children, and you can't imagine anything sadder, anything worse. But the way that the facility is prepared, the way the staff and everybody is just, they make what is the most terrible traumatic time into something that you couldn't ask for more, I don't think. The amount of care that's taken, they go above and beyond, in my opinion, what you would ever imagine that the time could bring. And the facilities there are astonishing. One of the things that really stood out was, yes, it's a hospice. Yes, the key there is that children are going there often at the end of their days, and that's terrible. But they're going there not alone, they're going with their families, and not just their parents. They may have siblings, they may have grandparents, they may have extended family. There could be all sorts of different options with blended families. There's all sorts of different relations and close people with them. And they're all included and they're all cared for. And when that terrible time comes and the child passes away, a whole new lot of care seems to come into being. None of the extended family are left out. They're supported, they're helped for as long as it takes. And obviously my situation is different. I lost my partner, but the amount of grief, the amount of terrible, terrible loss that you go through, it must be so much worse if it's a child. And the staff there, they do absolutely everything they can to support the families, to support the loved ones, and just to make it what is a terrible experience into something that's as good as it can be, if that makes any sense. There are no words really. But all I could say is that I was so inspired. I really can't wait now to get out and get walking and raise more money for this brilliant charity. Incidentally, I believe 50% of the income on charities such as the Children's Hospice, they come from their charity shops. So do as I do as Linda did. Make use of the charity shops. They're brilliant. You can find absolutely everything there if you have a scoot around. And if you've got some old stuff littering up your house and it's decent condition, take it to the charity shops. They'll always be glad of it. I've got an awful lot more to send. So that really inspired me going there yesterday. And it's given me a big emphasis to get on a big push now to get more walking done, get more training done, and take on some more longer walks initially, which I'm looking forward to. And by the way, you don't have to wait until I get walking all around the country. If you would like to support the East Anglia Children's Hospice or Tapping House, there are links in this video. Go to Just Giving, look up Linda's Legacy AATC, which is all around the coast. And if you want to, you can donate right now. And goodness me, I will be so grateful, and so will the charities. So thank you in advance if you choose to do that. Also, please don't forget, like and subscribe, all that happy stuff. Every little helps on the videos. Oh, I'm now on TikTok as well. That's a learning experience and a half. Well, that's about it for this week. I'm out on my walk again, and it really is, as somebody once said, a beautiful day. So make the most of it and take care. I'll see you soon.